Globalization has made it more, accessible for some people to move around. It's really made it more accessible for corporations to migrate. In these days, corporations are the people. I'm calling them a person only because government officials have made it so they are people now. And that's ridiculous that that's even in my head that's what comes out. But yeah, so corporations have this, the most power to move from place to place. And it's really a shame, and it's really a total injustice that people cannot cross certain boundaries, cannot cross certain lines. And really, hopefully one day that does change, but we do need to keep talking about it. We do need to figure out how we can live on this planet. I mean, this is ours more than theirs. Yeah. So, let's give it up for this, or before we give it up. This next artist is a fantasy novelist, a CNF writer, occasional poet. He's been a perpetual Indian immigrant for most of his life, which has influenced his writing. He is an MFA from Hamlin University. Give it up for Satish.
I'm really honored to be here. Thank you so much, Justin, for inviting me to be part of this. So I'm going to take you guys on a little trip. I'm going to get started because it's a little long. But so I'll just set the stage. It's called My Bold and Beautiful Voltron Epic. And so the stage is, I'm 8 years old. I lived in the Middle East, so I lived in Muscat, and we'd go on summer holiday to India. And so at this point, I'm 7 years old. And the family has just come, and we're all kind of sleeping in my grandparents' apartment, and everyone's meant to go to sleep. I can't go to sleep, so I imagine a story, because that's what I do. And again, I'm 7 years old, so there are certain things I don't know yet. It's called My Bold and Beautiful Voltron Epic. Except for the AC providing a heavy white noise that gave me a slate to fill with color, my creativity was limited. I could not very well imagine a personal story, as that would have been an egocentric tale of me triumphing over my elder siblings, and with them possibly awake and staring right at me from either side, too discomforting to try. The default option was to imagine a story from the Masters of the Universe world, a tale of He-Man fighting Skeletor and other evildoers. But, trapped between my brother and cousin, the sword-slinging action of He-Man could not be choreographed without the full use of my body. I thought perhaps the story could start with him being wrapped in chains and contained like I was, but I could not bring myself to believe that He-Man would ever get captured. With no way to give my hero the proper tributary story while maintaining the illusion of at least trying to sleep, I turned instead to Voltron. I did not hold Voltron to the same standard as I did the perfect hero He-Man, and so sank into a story without reservations. Voltron was a very different experience for kids growing up in Oman than it was for kids watching it here in America, mainly because it was in Arabic. Furthermore, I did not know Arabic. So to me, it was a foreign cartoon in an alternate foreign language. Visually, this show was fantastic. 4 giant, primary colored robot cats would join with the ligaments of a fifth larger black cat to become the giant man robot Voltron, who as a result had cat-faced hands and feet. In addition was a blue-faced evil king who was always stroking a rasping alien cat. Now I've come to know in my adulthood that many two-dimensional villains like having a cat to stroke, but this animated show was my first experience with this phenomenon. Each episode always had a strange robot or monster that Voltron would cut in half by the end of the episode, with his energy sword which he created by reciting a mantra while putting his cat-faced hands together. The problem, due to the language barrier, is that I was always vague on how the story added up. The character motivations, the history, the feuds, much of what I didn't figure out I had to make up. There was a love story angle in the show, but I saw the show so regularly that I don't know where theirs ended and mine began. What I do know is that the cobbled together story I came up with that night went much further than any episode I had ever seen. The show had an elegant princess. She was beautiful and always in pink. Because this was an Arabic cartoon, I wondered, where were these blonde and blue-eyed Arabian women who this character was based on? An animation style aside, why did she look so much like Princess Peach from the Nintendo Mario games? She was the focus of a love triangle with two of the cat riders, and it was clear to me that she and Black Cat Rider were meant to be together, but she was the princess. Voltron might be able to get by without his blue cat arm or red cat leg, but there was no Voltron without the black cat body and head. So by my laws of heroic ranking, these two were meant for each other. But being the strong, silent, honorable hero that he was, Black Cat Rider never dared declare his love out of respect for his teammate. Ultimately, there was a marriage ceremony between the princess and the Blue Cat Rider that was more bittersweet than any I had witnessed in my years of watching The Bold and the Beautiful. Yet right after the vows were made, there was an attack, and in my little niche on the bed, I shifted back and forth from my side to my stomach to hide me replicating the movements of laser guns shooting and swords being constructed out of photon energy. It helped me live the action and chaos as the heroic Black Cat Rider grabbed the hand of the groom as the ground was blasted away underneath him. But then something terribly unexpected happened. The Black Cat Rider lost his grip. He let go. The groom, in either his suit or a Blue Rider uniform, fell to his death in tragic slow-motion Bollywood fashion. So then it goes on, and I'm following the characters. I'm realizing it's getting kind of late, but fiction characters really don't care about the creators and the writers, and so they do their own thing, and I'm up till like 3 a.m. imagining the story. I'm getting very emotional, and then I start to kind of whimper and cry. And that's when I hear out of the blue, "Satish?" I responded, "Are you okay?" I was struck with a sudden awareness. I awoke suddenly to a reality of a humming AC and my mom calling my name out of concern. I didn't know if she was already awake or had come awake suddenly because of my moan. Frightfully, I worked to take the whimper out of my voice. "I'm fine. I'm fine." I was glad that it was too dark to see my tears. I'm also grateful to my mother, being either too groggy to follow up or receptive to my assurances that I was fine. Anything and everything that was preventing her from turning on the light so that the whole family could see that I was crying at 2 a.m. What was I supposed to say to everyone if that had happened? That I didn't have a nightmare because I wasn't even asleep? And that I wasn't really sad but was crying because of an imagined tragic romance between two characters from an Arabic cartoon with fighting robot cats? I turned over after that and decided it had been too close a call and needed to force myself asleep, but I still couldn't, not without having some kind of ending. So I wrapped it up, much the same way Charles Dickens did when he wrote the false ending to Great Expectations for readers who could not handle the real one. The two lovebirds, BCR and Princess Pink, met under a somewhat coincidental setting after saving the universe, and though there was still love and pain between them, they were able to enjoy their friendship and company. Reluctantly, I let the story go and fell asleep. I never followed up from where I last saw them to see if they did get together and make it work or not. Most likely that story ended where it did. Either that, or I was much too afraid of the consequences of finding out. I didn't much watch Voltron when we got back to Oman either. In truth, it's quite possible that I avoided the show altogether so that my own version could stay real. Thank you so much.